Toch, hello.
Some conversation, but that we have. I'm keeping apart, that part about that one is like Sheila to Whoopi, talk about, those situations. I want to talk about the money part, right? There's another layer that we cannot ignore, and that's women and men. They aren't necessarily experiencing this money thing the same way. So tonight I want to just kind of help me. I want us to separate what the statistics say about what South Africans earn from what South Africans actually need to live a life. So, do you have a salary problem in South Africa? Do we have a salary problem, or do we have a problem about cost of living, or maybe is it both? And this is what I want listeners to talk to me about. Listen, good evening. Welcome back to Life and Money.
Good evening, Ms. Kumi. Good evening to your listeners.
Hi, Manar. We often hear that the average South African salary is around 10,000 to 14,000, and yet the official data can sometimes show a much higher average because maybe, let's say, the higher earners are pulling those figures up. But what does the typical South African worker actually earn, and why is this, more useful than the number when we're talking about people's like lived financial reality?
Look, there's a million ways to slice a lemon, I guess, or canabarin to slice a cake. And look, there are some statistics that look at the average salary in the non-agricultural sector. Then there's some that look at in the informal versus formal. But when all is said and done, the mean salary, or not the mean, in fact, the median. So, in other words, if we line up all the working South Africans and we say in the middle, how much does that person earn? And that should give us an indication whether there are more people closer to the small amount or more people closer to the large amount. And that comes in at about 6,500 rands, which is, it's nothing to write home about, but it is statistics. And, South Africans, bakopansa, mole mola, but formally speaking, that is not anything to write home about.
Yeah. When you put it like that, I think those are one of the most disturbing things. And when someone maybe then can earn Boma 10,000, 15,000, or maybe even earn 20,000 a month, but still struggle to make it to the end of the month. Like have salaries failed to keep up with the pace of the cost of living? Or are our expectations or financial pressures then simply becoming too high?
Look, salaries are the gym. I like to famously say, because your salary is only ever going to go up by cost of living and perhaps if you like a bit of performance at your job, and that's it. And that's just by design. When you look at the four factors of production, you've got land capital, then you've got labor. And labor is what you bring physically, your hours in exchange for a rand amount, depending on what you do. And depending on the value that you bring it to the workplace, that rand amount can be anything from, 100 rand or 20 rand an hour, all the way to, I mean, the top earners in the country looking at 2 to 5 thousand rands an hour for professionals. So salaries have just not kept up with inflation. And it's a discussion that I can have for days. I've got podcasts on it and all the jazz. And but the reason is quite simple. Something called a currency, the rand in your hands. It used to be based on the production value of the country. So it used to be that there's X amount of gold sitting in the Reserve Bank, and each ounce of gold is represented by a piece of paper called an IOU, which was your note. And anywhere where you presented that piece of paper, you basically could say to someone, listen, the Reserve Bank owes me 100 rand. Can I give you this piece of paper and take 100 rands worth of goods? And at any given point in time, you can go to any of its branches and claim 100 rands worth of gold. Famously, in the 70s, it started in the US or it culminated in the US. They let go of the gold standard. and they started following what we currently have, which is the fiat currency model. And the fiat currency model basically says we no longer care what's sitting in the Reserve Bank. If people need more money, let's print or make more money. And the value of a currency is going to be dependent on how many people need that currency. And in exchange for their own currency, they then get one of that valuable currency. So, in the case of US dollars, because many people around the world use US dollars as a form of exchange, you then have a situation where we're willing to give up 15, 16, 17, 18 of our units of currency for one unit of currency in the US. So, in that exercise and in that battle, salaries absolutely did not stand a chance because it's your 1 hour of productivity at work versus the productive capacity of a country and the printing capacity of the whole world. Yeah, it's just an uphill battle.
Now, stats essays maintain figures. They show a difference, obviously, from what women and men earn. I had this conversation with some ladies yesterday. We were talking about this issue of us earning far less than what men earn. And that's significant. In that gender gap is huge in South Africa today. What does it mean for women and their ability to save, to invest, to build wealth? Obviously, now I want you all to take into consideration that some households are actually run by women only. Women are single mothers. Sometimes they're taking care of themselves and extended family.
I'm going to be controversial on this one, Ms. Kumi. I think simply because of the amount of time that we have. And I'm going to say Nyalang, guys. Nyalang, Nyalang, Nyalang. Monthly out of my budget, my wife even knows where there's an allocation yana ya high mola where I'm like, Tia, o tla reka cold drink. And I know cold drink is not the amount that I give her. And she buys all sorts of stuff that make the house lovely and nice and hospitable. But I also know that hunale changes are going. That's on the joking side. On the serious side, as you have mentioned, backed by single households, the fatherless pandemic statistics, the migrant labor system, what you call it, legacy of our country. Women essentially are earning about 82% of what men earn, which is actually quite high when you consider disparities around the world. But obviously, anytime that those numbers are not equal, it does often cause a stir. So a lot of the times you find that where someone is earning essentially 1 rand, a woman would be earning about 82 cents to that 1 rand. Ms. Kumi, have I lost you?
Money because they
I took out the budget on radio and they made sure they silenced me. Gadlal, I have no idea what happened there. Hello, Ms. Kumi?
you save something and still live a life. Lisa Ore, tap we need to get married because then otherwise Ogas create that extra pocket money from a guy. So essentially, bao wali sa more or we're not gonna find that pocket money.
Not that's the way I read it at some point. I was like, it only makes sense whatever.
I love this excuse. I don't like it, but I love it. And now there's this perception that once you cross a certain income level that taxation takes a significant bite out of your additional earnings. And I've had conversations with people that are complaining about it. And out of a bunch of their salary, a lot of it goes to tax. So are South Africans right when they feel that they're earning more doesn't always translate to having more money? Because a lot of it is significantly more disposable income.
Look, it's again one of those nuanced questions. There's something called bracket creep, and that happens oftentimes when your salary increase is not the same as inflation at work, or it happens essentially when you in one tax bracket, and then as I say, the salary increase just puts you in the next tax bracket. And then when you calculate then now your taxable income, you end up in a situation where you effectively are paying more in taxes. Look, that's one that the Minister of Finance addresses often, and I think it's his baby. The gist of it is that in South Africa, we've got a progressive tax system. And ideally, the more you earn, the more you get taxed. And unfortunately, it so happens that that's the way it is. So there is quite a bit of truth to the rumor. But please just always make sure that you're earning more and more and more, because it actually does work out that it gets better as you get closer to the top. And then it just gets horrible after that, because then it becomes 45% no matter what you earn.
Hi, Mr. Richard. Now I'm going to wrap it up by saying, Mori, there are very few people that earn that high money. And then a chunk of it is taxes. So keep complaining on their behalf for now, for now. But let's hear, what's going on our WhatsApp line before we have to move into catching up. Good
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Evening.
And dwelling on your topic, I think salary
yeah,
I think long penny. Yeah. You will and then job at home. You then just to look up, not like free. Comfortable.
And Lisa, that's how we wrap it up.
Hey,
Barry, it's 25 today. We're not in.
now get it closer to 50 to 60. They are war, guys.
Amen. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you very much, Miss Kubi.
We're running out of time, so I am going to be catching up late.